Hi, this is Andrew Shearer, arts and entertainment reporter for OnlineAthens.com and the Athens Banner-Herald. When I reached out to Montu Miller, the ambassador of Athens hip-hop, for a quote about Amun-Ra, Montu described Amun-Ra as one of the architects of Athens hip-hop, and went on to say that Amun was the person who gave the Dreaded Minds family their very first show in Athens. My conversation with Amun-Ra is intended as the first in a series of interviews with the founders of the Athens hip-hop scene.
Greetings, peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How about you? Could you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm honored, man. I appreciate that. It's about time that the city gets some recognition on hip-hop, because there's some real hip-hop here. I'm born and raised in Athens, on the west side of Athens, in 1972, 48 years young, I would like to say. Both of my parents are married. I grew up in a married household. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My father's owned a couple barbershops, Huff's Barbershop for years. As a family, we've owned a few fish restaurants. Brothers own a clothing store, restaurant. We're just entrepreneurs. So it was natural for me to create my own entertainment company and do the music independently, because that's all I knew, right? My father always taught us to do for self, never ask anyone for nothing. You know, if you can't buy it, then work until you can get it. You know what I'm saying? So that was the work ethic. So I moved around a lot. My parents were young parents. I went to like 4 different elementary schools. I went to, first, I think it was East Athens and Alps Road, Barrow, Chase Street, and Oglethorpe Elementary, 4th, 5th grade. And that's when I really became in tune with the music around that time. I went to Clark Middle and graduated from Clark Central. But my first introduction to hip hop, my dad and my parents used to listen to music all the time in the house. My dad always had a stereo system. He wasn't a DJ, but he was at home. He played music all the time. So we listened to everything from George Clinton, Tina Turner, James Brown, a lot of soul and funk. My mom was into Cyndi Lauper. She was into everything. You know what I'm saying? So I heard music all the time, right? So when hip hop hit, I was saying in the late 70s, the first song I heard probably was, I think, the Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight. Yes. Dad bought the 12-inch, right? Now, mind you, we're in Athens. We are in the South, but it's on the East Coast. So everything that came from New York, we got it, but probably like a couple months later.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But I had family in Atlanta. I had a couple uncles, my dad, brothers lived in Atlanta. So I was always going back and forth to Atlanta. So I was always in tune with that city energy and getting everything first and bringing it back. You feel what I'm saying? So then after the Sugar Hill Gang, The Message by Melly Mel, Dad put that in rotation. That stuck. And I'm probably about, when that came out, probably like, 79, 78? Yeah, I'm young hearing this. So this is all I'm hearing, right? At the age of 14, my parents bought me a set of turntables and a mixer. And hip-hop became my religion at that point. Yeah. That was it. I started out as a DJ, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really that good, but I could do it. But prior to that, I was into breakdancing, beatboxing, all of that graffiti. I went through all the stages of hip-hop. Athens, Southeast, we still got that information from what we saw on television. You follow what I'm saying? So there was a lot of cats doing it, but they mostly was doing it in home. You know what I mean? Me and my crew, we was doing it out. We was letting it be known. We was doing shows, talent shows. We was trying to really be seen with it, trying to really do it seriously, you know. But there was a lot of people already doing it. The first people I saw, and when I saw him, I was like, "Yo, I think I can do this." Was a brother named Bruce Chambers. Look up Bruce Chambers. Yeah, he's a Athens legend, and Willie Wester, both of them. Willie Wester. I saw them performing like at a skate rink or a talent show. I was like, "Yo." When I saw that, it like opened me up. I said, "Okay, they can do it, then I know I can do it." So I started crafting my own lyrics, right? Around that time when I got my equipment, I did a parody of Run DMC's My Adidas. It was called My Cat Heads. So that's what it was, right? It was a family member worked at the radio station. His name was Gene. I can't remember Gene's last name now. Forgive me, Gene. Gene heard it. I sent it up there, and he put it in rotation every Thursday nights when they played hip-hop or soul night. So I was in rotation for about a year. 14 years old in Athens, my music playing on the radio. Everybody in school would listen to it. They would tune in on Thursdays. So that's how I got my first claim to fame. And I came like a celebrity in middle school. You know what I'm saying? From that point, I formed a few crews. You know what I'm saying? I started out beatboxing. And I figured I could rhyme just as good as the guys I was beatboxing for. So I started rhyming, became a soloist. I recruited my cousin, Michael Tyrone Walter. He was known as T Chill. He's passed now, rest in peace. He became my side man, my hype man. You know what I'm saying? I was Chili C and he was T Chill. So it was like Cool J and E Love. I was a big Cool J fan.
Yeah.
Right. But for Athens hip hop, it was bubbling. People was doing it, but like I said, it was more in-house.
Right. You said it was a skating rink when you were
skating rink type vibe, or a house party, or an assembly at a school, or a talent show. Talent shows was major.
But as far as you knew, there was nobody in the clubs was doing anything.
No. The downtown scene, we didn't even go downtown. We really wasn't wanted down there.
I understand.
You feel me? Our parents told us, don't go downtown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's one thing about Athens. Athens is a college town, but still there was that racism, the underneath racism, the white privilege that's prevalent here. So that's the battle we constantly fight. But it's a small matter to a giant, man. I was raised to do for self. That never deterred me from doing anything. I was saying my parents always instilled in me who we were. You know what I'm saying? So at the age of 16, I was introduced to Jermaine Dupri. He was 15.
Wow.
Right. He produced my first demo, and I was introduced to him through my manager at the time, David Kidd. And David Kidd partnered up with Ann Burke. Research Ann Burke. Ann Burke is responsible for founding Goody Mob, Outkast, Dungeon Family, Escape, all of them cats. Ann Burke is major. Google him now. He was my first manager. But when I met Jermaine, we shopped the demo for a while. Nothing really to pop off. He met Crisscross, and everybody else got pushed to the back. You follow what I'm saying?
I remember all this.
You've heard Colt Ford, right?
Oh, yes.
Jason Brown, we went to high school together. I was on, my first piece of wax I was on was with Jason Brown. I beatboxed on one of his albums, Colt Ford's album. And this was 88. I was 16, all the same time. So after the Jermaine found Crisscross, I was still with management. But for some reason, they really couldn't feel what we were doing. It was very underground, very conscious. My music is very conscious, for those who don't know. I create metaphysical, melanated music designed to reawaken or enlighten people of all colors, but specifically people of color, because our people, we've been the one that's been oppressed the most, lied to the most. So my theory is that once we get our act together, then we can help heal the planet, because we are the originators, we are the caretakers of the earth. So we have to get everything together with us first before we even can deal with anybody else. So my purpose is to help reawaken our people of who they truly are, the true spirituality, our true culture, which was taken from us. You know the story.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
I do.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm on the lineage of KRS-One, Public Enemy, Dead Prez, X-Clan. You know what I'm saying? Poor Righteous Teachers, Gil Scott Heron, The Last Poets. I'm on that frequency. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you named some of my favorites there.
Thank you. So they didn't know how to market us. I was like that then. So they didn't know how to market it. So my crew and I was like, yo, we can do this ourselves. We split, we're independent, and we're doing it independent ever since. You follow what I'm saying? Every act that was under that roster, they blew up. You see what I'm saying? So in a nutshell, that's basically my story. And with Athens hip hop, when I moved to Atlanta, that's a whole nother story. I moved to Detroit for a few years, independently just shopping the music and spreading the music. And that's what I'm doing to this day.
So you don't currently live in Athens? You don't currently?
Yeah, I'm in Athens now. I am here. Yes.
Okay.
I'm back. Every time I leave Athens, man, I'm always brought back. And I used to get discouraged by that, but now I think I'm supposed to be here for a reason. I got 2 young daughters now too, so it's a great place to raise children. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there is racism, but it's a great town to grow up in. Just
knowing all that's being done, all the work that's being done, it is definitely, you get that community sense. And my brief time within the Athens hip hop scene, which would have been around 2006-07, immediately I noticed it was way more unity. It's nothing like what you would see in rock. They were out there putting out each other's flyers, trying to get people to the show. And by the end of the show, it was so many people on the stage. I had met Elite the first night I played, and it was a great feeling. I didn't, though, realize up until talking to Montu and being friends with him why the venues didn't want them playing and why it was so hard, why you didn't ever have a consistent, other than maybe Tasty World from my memory.
Yeah, or 40 Watt.
Yeah.
Or Caledonia, after, I used to put on a lot of shows before when Muntu moved. I met Muntu like in 98. Before that, I was putting on shows like at Tasty World, 40 Watt. Yeah, but the reason is that underlying racism, man. They fear what they don't understand, and that's what's going on.
It sounded to me like they didn't make an attempt to understand because they assume it's going to be trouble.
That's Athens, Georgia. That's what I'm telling you. That's below the Dixie line law. That's just what it is. Growing up here, you know that. You know what I'm saying?
I just, I got the feelings like, all right, well, to me, that sounds like an excuse. That sounds like how, they changed the dress code to keep certain people out.
You already know. There you go.
Bars and stuff like that. It just seemed kind of like that same symptom or whatever.
It is.
How did it go from skating rink to actually getting into those venues?
I was in Atlanta from 90 to 96, and I moved to Detroit from 96 to 98. So I didn't get back to Athens to 98. When I moved back, that's when hip hop started bubbling a little bit. That's when I started throwing the shows, because what I was doing in Detroit and Atlanta.
Okay.
So let me try in my hometown. But what I was finding out, people wasn't turning out, especially for the type of music I was doing. My music was too conscious for what was going on around here. You
really?
See what I'm saying? Yeah, so yeah.
Was it like, describe then what was the scene more of, and why you felt like kind of alienated from that?
The scene was probably happy-go-lucky hip-hop or gangster rap.
Really?
I'm not I'm not either of those. You feel what I'm saying? My music is straight conscious for a select few. Because if you give it a listen, it's nothing negative about it. It's just enlightened information that people haven't been taught. It's correcting misinformation and mistranslations of what we've been forced to believe. And, once you do that, then you become a problem. If you get people to start critically thinking for themselves, then you become a problem. That's what my music does. It causes people to think for themselves and to question authority. And that's a problem.
So did you at any point feel embraced by Athens, or understood or accepted by Athens in terms of, if not the scene, by any other artists?
I would say at times, man, people would come out. It's a select few, man. It's like, you got to remember, out of 100% populace, the 85% that are dumb, deaf, and blind, right? And 5% that know the truth. Yeah. So here in Athens, it's probably like 1%. You feel what I'm saying?
I do.
But I salute artists like Issues. He know what time it is. My man Muntu. It's a few others, man, that know what's going on, man. And big up to all the artists, all the young artists coming up too. But I get a better reception in other places, other cities, other countries.
Did you go to? You went to Germany, right?
I went. No, I was scheduled to go on tour out there, but that never manifested. I went to Kemet, or I went to Egypt.
Egypt, that was the one. Okay.
Yeah, I shot a video out there called "Back to Pyramids." It's on YouTube. Back to Pyramids. Amun-Ra. That was a great experience.
I understand now. I'm thinking of an interview I saw with Flavor Flav, of all people, a very long time ago, where he said most of his fans didn't look like him. And he was saying, like, when they went to England, it just was huge.
Yeah. You got to remember, man, outside of America, man, people are more open-minded, man.
Yeah.
They're not under this capitalistic system, man. It's a concentrated effort for that to happen, man. The powers that be got to keep things going the way it's going to keep the power. If people start waking up and coming together, this shit will fall, man. Excuse my language. I didn't mean to curse.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But you know what? It's nothing they can do about it. We're at the time right now that the veil is being lifted. Doing the great conjunction is here. You familiar with the great conjunction with Jupiter and Saturn?
Yeah.
If you do your research on that, it's a lot of new energy and a lot of dead energy going away. You know what I'm saying? For my train of thought, my path, we call it the sun cycle. You know what I'm saying? And the last sun cycle was when people in color was in power. That was 25,000 years ago. And our solar system has made a complete rotation in the galaxy. And we're right back at that time now. So that's why things are happening like they're happening right now. Yeah, it's time for change, man. It's a positive thing, man. Ain't nothing negative about it. It's only negative to those that don't want to relinquish that power. You feel me?
I trust me. I've rubbed elbows with a couple. I didn't actually touch them. That may be why Montu said it's time to do these articles. Do you still perform here, or have you? What is your involvement like currently?
The last performance was the Athens Hip Hop Awards, 2018, maybe, at the Foundry. That was the last time I performed here. Mm-hmm. So I usually don't come out unless I'm really needed, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's like a superhero, though.
I can't,
yeah.
Not really, because I don't want to go out. If I'm called and I feel it, I'm going to come out. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I just let my inner self guide me now. You know what I mean?
So what do you think about the Athens hip hop scene versus when you started? How you feel about it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it's large. It's on the scene and people know about it now. Yeah, it's brothers. They're performing everywhere, and they got a lot of publicity. They're doing their things, man, making numbers, hitting numbers on the internet, online. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I applaud everybody.
Well, Athens prides itself on being a music town, not a specific type of music. But right. I think what I noticed within Athens hip hop was that it was very eclectic within its own scene. You can't nail it down.
Yeah, you're right. It's a plethora. It's like a melting pot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A gumbo.
Yeah, that's a good way to
You can
describe
you
it.
get everything. You can get everything in Athens hip hop. Everything.
Yeah, yeah, and so I think that's its sound is all sound. I just think there's more in common with it than there is different in terms of where hip hop in Athens is and all the other music. There's one thing they don't have in common, and that's the support.
That's it. That's what it's always been, though. So that's the problem. Most
Yeah,
artists from Athens have to leave Athens, then, to do their thing, then come back. It
and
shouldn't be like that, though.
what would you say could be the catalyst? I mean, what could do it?
The governmental structure that's going on in Athens, the political, all that shit has to be broken down and rebuilt, a total restructure for America. Period. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
for Athens though, the mentality of the people would have to change.
you think they still view it the way they did when? I mean, because when you would go to try and book yourself or others, and what was the response?
Well, I never got any flack because my presentation, when I was telling what it was about, metaphysical hip hop, spiritual hip hop, was what I was running it to them. You follow?
Yeah,
so there was no problem with me. But it's the below the Dixie line. I mean, it's some changes, but not really.
What do you got? What do you want? I want that in there too. The music is it.
Yeah.
So
I got a new single I just dropped. It's called Children of the Most High, and it's featuring Timbo King from Royal Fam, who's a Wu-Tang affiliate. Google Timbo King. Also, a goddess on the hook is Davina Estrella, and it's composed by Jehuti Arsael. He's a Wu-Tang affiliate producer as well. He produced Harlem 6, and he was mentored under RZA and Guru from Gangstar. So I'm honored to be on the track, man. Yeah, I'm honored to be on the track. It's hard. There's an explicit version. There's a clean version. And it's not too explicit, just a few curse words to get the point across. And that's coming from my new EP called Tribal Core. It's going to be a nice banger, man. Nice banger with us featuring. I created it to feature some new talent, so it's going to be featuring a lot of new artists that people might not have heard of before. It's going to be real dope. And I also got I'm featured on the Ansar tape. Ansar tape is an album composed of some fraternal brothers of mine from ancient Egyptian order and the order of Melchizedek, and we put this compilation together. It's powerful. It's 2 singles out right now: The True Light and Mahmoud, the sacred Sufi or the mystical Sufi, but it's all online. Children of the Most High is all online as well. And check out the album Issues and I did called Hotep Salam. It's an EP. Hotep Salam is everywhere right now, and it's powerful.
Now, if someone wanted to get it directly from you, is that Bandcamp site still?
Yes. Yes. Amun-Ra, and Amun is AMUN-RA.bandcamp.com.
Okay,
check the videos at Amun09 on YouTube. Amun09 on YouTube or Spotify. Anywhere digital music is sold, you can get my music. Just Google Amun-Ra, Athens, Georgia, or Atlanta, Georgia. It's all gonna come up.
Okay.
I give thanks, man. I really appreciate it, for real. Hey, stay safe out there too.
I will, and you as well, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
One love.